In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make your own spindles using your own sandpaper. I think I've got 4 sheets of this for about $3. For a 1/4 inch spindle for my jet, I was looking at, for 4 of them, $20. With a large 9x11 sheet piece of sandpaper, I can make a ton of these things. And because they come from a sandpaper, I can choose the grit that I want instead of the 100 grit stuff that they sell. I've actually got 60 grit here and it works really well, and I'm very happy with this. All right, we're gonna get started. I've got 4 different pieces. Each one are 4 inches long. I've got a 1/4 inch, a 3/8, a 1/2 inch, and a 5/8. Now, these are gonna plug directly into my drill press. So obviously the widest that my dowels will go is 5/8 of an inch. If you have a lathe, you can start off with a larger size and then cut it down to the width of your chuck. But I have another video that shows how to do that if you're interested. What we're gonna do is we're going to cut a little channel in each one of these, which will allow us to wrap our paper around it. You can make these a little bit shorter if you want. 4 inches might be too long for you. It really doesn't matter that much. After you've cut your pieces down, you're gonna want to place this in a clamp of some kind. You might think we're gonna go the full length, but we're not. You can use one of these Japanese pole saws or even a hacksaw, but we really want a thin kerf when we cut. And we want to be right in the center, but being slightly off center isn't a problem as long as we are straight as we go down. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, and like I said, I'm only going to go down about 1 inch. So as I cut, I'll look straight down and make sure that I'm not moving too much one way or the other. And that's about 1 inch down. Now before we go any further, I thought I'd go ahead and cut this one. This is actually brass. Again, this is a 1/4 inch. I'm using brass here because obviously if I were to try to do this with wood, a 1/4 inch split down the middle is very weak. So I think using this brass is a really good option. You could probably go with steel and that wouldn't matter a whole lot. So let's go to the second part now. Okay, I've got a piece of sandpaper here that is the length of the rod, and it's actually probably a little too long, and that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the cut, and I'm going to mark that on my paper. So I'm just going to transfer the cut over. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this piece off right here, like this. Now when I go to put this in here, it'll slide in like this, and we can take this and we can wrap it. We want to be really careful when we wrap this. We want to make sure that we get all the slack out. We'll go right about there, and then I'm going to stop. I'm just going to add a little glue line right along the edge. You really want this to warm up as much as it can so that it doesn't stick out too far. And I'll just spin this around until that glue stops. And come back here with a knife, cut it off. And there we go. Now, one thing I forgot to do was to check to make sure the rotation, this should be wrapped the opposite direction of the way our drill spins. And I'm hoping that I got lucky with it, but let's go see. And I just happened to have put it in the right way, which is good. Like I said, that spins around like this. The wrapping is the other way, so it doesn't get pulled on. Again, the cut part is at the bottom, and our paper with the dowel is inside the chuck, which holds this end really well. Let's try it. Okay, I'm really happy with this. It sands really well. I like this better than the spindle sander that I bought, as again, I can use the coarsest sandpaper that I want to use instead of using the 100 grit, 120 grit that clogs easily and doesn't really do a whole lot before they're damaged. I've got my 60 grit in here and it does a really good job. What I really like about this is that I can raise and lower my table using different parts of my spindle here. I can also add a piece of scrap to, again, use more of the spindle. I found with the spindles with my spindle sander that I'd only use the bottom half of it, or just very little of it. So this is a much cheaper method, and I think it's honestly better than what I've been using. That's it for this video. Again, if you want to make these a little bit better, you could always go to steel. These are the smaller ones. I have made some larger ones. If you're interested in seeing how I made those, I will have a link in the description down below as well as at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if this is something that you're interested in doing yourself.